702.
World of Work.
So on our World of Work feature this morning, we're discussing how to incorporate AI into your job search. There are many ways, obviously, in which AI can help you get a step closer to your next job. AI can write your CV for you and automate networking emails for you. But more importantly, it can also help you to secure interviews and impress hiring managers. In fact, there's data from the US that suggests that 18% of recent job seekers used ChatGPT as part of their job search. Can you believe it? And those who did were more likely to report receiving interview requests often and negotiating a higher salary. But is AI enough to help you secure your next gig? And how can you use it optimally without neglecting human interactions? And if you've used AI in your recent job searches, or maybe to help you with preparing for your interview, or maybe just preparing your CV, let us know how that went for you, and if the benefits were there on 011-883-0702. That's the number you can dial. You can send us a WhatsApp as well on 072-702-1702. Advaita Naidoo is the Africa Managing Director at Africa's executive search firm, Jack Hammer Global, joining us now, and will be guiding us through this conversation. Thank you so much for making time for us. Advaita, good morning.
Thanks for having me back, Clement.
Good. So let's look at just the benefits of using AI for CV optimization. Are a lot of people really using that for that purpose?
They are. And look, let me just start by saying it's an important category of tools, and it's a good idea to note that there are times when it's being overused or not used to good effect. So love if we could discuss when to use it, what to avoid, and when not to use it as all, because I obviously don't want to disintermediate myself as a recruiter. But yeah, let's discuss the good uses first. So for CV optimization, it's obviously a massive time saver. It can help you improve the grammar and make sure there are no mistakes. It can just make it look better overall, more visually appealing, a bit more visually readable, and not just a wall of text. Many people just don't know where to start in building a good CV. So one that is eye-catching and engaging. And honestly, I've seen CEO CVs that are so horrific. So this is one of those things that can and should be handed over to AI. And there are also platforms like AI Apply or Job Scan, which can help you optimize your CV or tailor a good cover letter, which people should still do, by the way, to a very specific job listing by using the keywords in the role descriptions and amending your CV to match that. And there are companies that use things called applicant tracking systems, which do filter out applications if they don't contain the right keywords. So you're making sure that you clear that first hurdle at the very least.
I see. And how does AI help one's CV become more, discoverable, if at all? Is that even possible?
Yeah, so I guess there are two ways. So there is people are approaching job hunting differently in this age of AI, because AI can sift through hundreds of job listings to match your skills and your preferences with the opportunities that are out there. And some of the most popular tools, like the LinkedIn job recommendations, suggest roles to you based on your profile, your activity, and your interests. That's not always accurate, and there are times where it is very wide of the mark, but it mostly gets it right. And then there are the tools that help you optimize your CV, and using the algorithms, like I said, to match with the open jobs on platforms like LinkedIn. And on the flip side, if you're using AI to optimize your LinkedIn profile or your CV, the recruiter or the HR person looking to fill that job will be directed to you by that matching capability, which thereby increases your chances by making you more discoverable.
Okay, let's talk about preparing for interviews. What is the optimal way to use AI to prepare for interviews so that you can ace it?
Well, you can use it to generate mock interview questions. You can get feedback on your answers. You can refine your communication skills. There are tools that you can use to practice your answers into a speaking coach. One of them is called Read AI, and you can get feedback on your communication style, your understandability, and your speed. Obviously, a great way to use it is to develop a cheat sheet for yourself on the company and the people that you're interviewing with, as well as get any updated industry insights. It's a quick way of preparing for the content of an interview, and it'll generate great questions that you might not have thought of by yourself. You can feed the job profile into a generative AI and ask it to generate some very insightful questions and even some answers. But again, it can only help you with the prep. The human connection bit is really up to you, isn't it?
Yeah, so don't rely too much on it, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, just know that you still have to interact with humans when you get there. There seems to be a heavy reliance on AI, Advaita, on AI from just the application process to preparing for interviews. And what do you think is the reaction from recruiters? Do you think they like this? So that people can be extra careful or extra cautious when relying on AI. How do recruiters see this?
So honestly, any good recruiter might be using AI to automate repetitive tasks like interview scheduling, summarizing some notes and things like that, but should absolutely not be relying on AI to screen candidates. First, because with all these enhancement tools, everyone does start to look the same and everyone now suddenly sounds and looks very qualified, and the paper-based screening isn't enough. And it's often easy to tell when something is AI generated because it lacks a certain authenticity and human touch. And second, over-reliance on AI could lead to the exclusion of very strong candidates who don't fit the exact ideal profile or who may have unique experiences that aren't picked up by the AI systems. And AI honestly can't capture the nuances of an interview or the emotional intelligence needed for assessing cultural fit. So that brings us to the other side of the screen. In many organizations, due to the fact that it is actually very easy to apply at the click of a button, there are literally thousands of applications for a single role, and there's really oversaturation. So the HR professional, the recruiter, becomes very overwhelmed in sorting through them, and it's candidates tend to take a bit of a spray and pray approach to job search because you just click and you've applied, you've customized your CV. And so the person manning the inbox on the other side does get a bit irritated when reviewing 1,000 wrong CVs.
I see. It's 14 minutes after 11 o'clock. On our World of Work feature this morning, we are discussing AI and job searches. How do you incorporate AI in your job search? If you maybe have used AI in recent job searches before, let us know of what your experience was like on 011-883-0702. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. So does AI usage help in all the industries? Or, for instance, would it be frowned upon in academia? In other words, in what industries is it best to really use it to its full potential? And when do you need to be a lot more cautious?
I mean, I'll pick up on the academia example. I think academia is a bit more nuanced than the other industries out there. And I think AI should absolutely be used to take up the time-consuming and repetitive elements of tasks and work that really should be given over to machines and free up humans for the more creative and enjoyable pursuits. But in academia, AI is valued for its utility in data analysis and pattern recognition, and for making research that may be written in other languages more accessible and thus increasing its reach. But it can be frowned upon as plagiaristic. It can call research integrity into question when papers are generated by AI. And there are many universities that have well-defined policies on what's allowable and what's not. And, they use AI detection tools to see whether a student has written something on their own. And really, the academic environment is where we're supposed to be applying the most fundamental of critical thinking skills. And we know that's not what AI is about. But I do take it that, it's quite a conundrum. You need to navigate the ethical and responsible usage while balancing with innovation and the ability to transform the landscape. But as with all things AI, and this will extend to beyond academia, it's an ongoing conversation.
Yeah, I've got a few questions that are coming through and some listeners as well sharing their experiences. So we'll get to those calls and WhatsApps after this. It's 16 minutes after 11.
702. World of Work.
19 minutes after 11 o'clock. Have you used AI in your recent job searches? How has it assisted you? Maybe you've used it to prepare for interviews. Let's share our experiences on 011-883-0702. Mongezi is calling us from Johannesburg. Mongezi, good morning.
Good morning, Clement.
Hey, Tara.
I've got two quick questions. So the first one is that AI writes like AI a lot of the time. It writes in a long-winded way, it punctuates weirdly, it does all of these things. When a recruiter sees a CV that feels very AI, are you punished for that? Does that disadvantage you? And lastly, we are seeing a lot more, at least there are conversations happening on places like LinkedIn where it looks as though you need to have 2 or 3 versions of the same CV when applying for roles. And AI kind of helps with that because of how the roles are advertised. Is that the reality from a recruiter's perspective, where your CV, even when applying for the same role, should be contextualized according to what's advertised beyond the cover letter?
Great questions. Mongezi in Johannesburg, thank you. Advaita?
Yes, I mean, I think that's always been the case. It's just that AI is just making it a little bit quicker. So when you are applying for a role, you should absolutely target it and personalize it and say what value you bring to a specific role. And don't just do that spray and pray or that obvious approach where you say, dear hiring manager. You should really personalize it. And the thing about AI is that it should be used to automate that time consuming and repetitive element of securing a new job. But use your own discretion for the key decision making. Use it to generate insights from a large body of text, but apply your own critical thinking. Use it to optimize your CV, but personalize it so it does actually sound like you. So you're not going to be punished for submitting what is ostensibly an AI generated CV. But, I think a recruiter will go into that, questioning its authenticity a little bit and probably digging a little bit deeper to try to decide whether you are a great candidate or you are an AI embellished person.
Here's another one.
Good morning, Clement. I'm very, very excited about the AI. I've been using this thing for CCMA cases. So my argument, was watertight, like it was solid, like it was genuine through AI, because I just ask AI what should I do if this happened, and then I will set up the scenario to the AI, and then after that the AI will give me a very, very strong argument. So I think this is a game changer, so to say. So I like this AI thing, especially this ChatGPT.
I've got a question here from someone, Advaita, who says, I have been using AI a lot as well, just in prepping for my interviews and also when I work on my CVs. But please help us understand how we can find a balance between using AI and enjoying the benefits of it and relying on our own capabilities. What's that fine balancing act?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what I said earlier, but I will reiterate because I think it's a great question and people should be using it to generate some insights and generate some version of a CV or interview prep. But then you really do need to personalize it so it is your true, authentic self. It can get you going, but it's not going to do the job for you when you eventually get there. And I think the other thing is that the time-consuming and repetitive elements like generating those questions and generating the CV over and over, that can be automated, but you should then apply your own critical thinking lens to decide whether this is the right opportunity for you and whether you're showing up yourself up in the best light. And then the one thing that AI can't do, it can't replace the human intuition or the personal touch when it comes to building relationships. And that is why employers are increasingly relying on other signals like referrals or reputation. So AI might get you in the door and it might present you in a strong way on paper, but at the end of the day, your human capability is going to have to take you the rest of the way.
Yeah. Is it even possible for us to quantify the impact AI has had on job seekers and how they've benefited from it?
Well, I suppose there are two ways to look at it. I mean, the first is the sort of negative views that some people have actually been out-automated and that organizations now use AI instead of humans for administrative and repetitive tasks. And the stats vary wildly and widely as to the actual percentage. But there is consensus that there are just fewer of those jobs available. And the second is to examine the time saved and the efficiency gained in the job search process. But I think the third thing that people often overlook is that there is career enhancement and skill skill development that opportunities that AI provides. Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, Udemy. We have so many free courses available to us that anyone who is seeking a job is doing themselves a disservice by not augmenting their existing skills.
Yeah, and I've seen some messages on Twitter, some people saying, hi, Clement. My experience is that I've seen people being assisted by AI. Their CVs look incredible. But as soon as they step into the room, it's a completely different person. So to that point you were making, Advaita, it can get you to the door, but your human capabilities have to push you forward and take you through the rest.
That's exactly it. I mean, and then AI is not going to be able to teach you that. So that's why it's important. I mean, if it's an interview that's setting you back, practice with a real live human who can give you feedback on your body language, on how you sound, on how you're showing up, how you're presenting yourself, and make sure that you actually do have the capability to do the job and you're not just augmenting your CV to get you in the door, and then you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about when you get into the interview.
Yeah, absolutely. Advaita, thank you so much for making time for us. Advaita Naidoo is the Africa Managing Director at Africa's executive search firm, Jack Hammer Global, speaking to us there about these benefits of using AI in your job search.